Keeping a tiny home can be challenging, and we can wonder why we even need to attempt it. Well, today I'm going to provide some tips on how to keep your home clean, as well as give you some reasons as to why you, as a Christian homemaker, should work on skills in this area for the glory of God. 1 Peter 4:8-11 says, "Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Show hospitality to one another without grumbling, as each has received a gift. Use it to serve one another. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. Whoever speaks, as one who speaks, oracles of God. Whoever serves, as one who serves by the strength that God supplies, in order that in everything God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. To him belong glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen." For the homemaker, her home is her job, her gift from God that she must steward well. It should be filled with love for her and her family, as well as providing hospitality for other believers or an opportunity to show love to non-believers. So growing up, I loved having people come to our house. My parents would host events often, and I loved the buzz from the chatter of our guests and, of course, all of the finger foods that would be laid out on the kitchen bar. This also meant that the day before and the day of, we would be cleaning our entire house. My mom wanted to provide a clean and relaxing atmosphere for our guests. Our home was nothing immaculate. My dad worked a factory job and my mom worked in an office. We didn't have marble countertops or the most expensive couch, but my parents did a good job of decorating our home and making it nice. My dad would get on to me and my sisters for not putting our clothes away or letting our rooms get out of hand. I didn't understand why it was such a big deal growing up, but now that I have my own home, I see why it is a big deal. Having a clean and tidy home helps your stress levels lower. Research shows messy, disorganized spaces can negatively impact mental health and well-being. One study suggests people with cluttered homes were more likely to be reporting depressed moods, and I will link that article in the description box below if you want to check that out. But have you ever read the creation story? In Genesis, God creates the world. The entire universe is made. And God takes each day of the week and creates each part of the world. It's not chaotic. There's order. And later, when God gives instructions on building his temple and dwelling place, there is order for each part of his temple. It is not thrown together. There isn't so much stuff that the priests can't walk in. It is organized and well maintained. So if our homes are our dwelling place and we are the children of God, shouldn't they display our God who dwells in us now? But how do we get there and keep it there? So you do not have to own a mansion or an expensive house to make it feel nice to be in. Here are a few tips to work with the house that you're in. Tip 1. Start in spaces that aren't already overwhelming. This day, I chose my bathroom to start in. This space is new to us, so it hasn't gotten super cluttered, and I can easily see where it needs to be cleaned. Decluttering this space is simple. I went through and threw away the things that were empty and boxed up, things that I just don't use, like the hair rollers I bought at Walmart. They don't work well in my hair, and they frustrate me, so instead of holding on to them in hopes that one day they might work, I'm just going to get rid of them. Maybe I'll find a better set one day that works with my hair. But for now, these don't work, so I'm just going to get rid of them. If you start in a space that isn't too bad already, then it gives you motivation to continue on to harder spaces. So you may need to start in a drawer or just a shelf in your closet. Whatever it is, if you are unmotivated to clean, start small and work on it as you go. Tip 2 is to get a basket or a bag to put things in that don't belong in that room. If you're like me and have tried to put things away in their correct spot, then end up tidying in a different area and bouncing around the entire home, then this tip is a must. Take your basket from room to room and put things away from the basket at the very end. So grab your basket, start your cleaning, decluttering, or wherever you are going. Put the stuff in it that do not belong in that room, and just take your basket with you from room to room. At the very end, when you are completely done cleaning, you can put your basket items away where they go. Tip number 3 is take a giveaway box with you as well. as soon as you are cleaning your home, it's easier to just have a box there that will collect the items that no longer serve you and your family. Just throw them in the box, then take it directly to your vehicle so you can drop it off at the local thrift store the next time you are out in town. I am bad about getting things that I could probably resell and make some money on them and just giving them to the thrift store because I don't want to deal with them anymore. And if that is your issue, like you can't seem to get rid of them quick enough, or if they just keep piling up in your garage, then maybe you just need to just go ahead and take it to the thrift store instead of trying to resell or something like that. Tip number 4 is simplify your cleaning tools and your cleaners. So you don't need a different spray or cleaner for every task. I have a little cleaning basket that holds most of my cleaning tools and products, which is very minimal. I have a window or mirror cleaning cloth. I have a all-purpose vinegar spray that I make at home, as well as I have a bottle with just a little bit of bleach and water in it to clean off any kind of stains. I have a magic eraser and a dusting mitt. And that's about it for my cleaning basket. I do have this little tool that scrubs off. You've seen me using it in the bathtub and stuff, which I really like it because it has different attachments on it, and I can use it in the tub as well as on the kitchen counters or the stove. Whenever it gets stuff caked onto it, it has like a scouring pad on it. It's helped me get that stuff clean really easy. So I will put a link to that in the description box below if you're interested in that. I like it because it's one tool with multiple purposes. So anyways, I take the basket, my cleaning basket, with me from room to room. And then when I'm finished with it, I will pop it back under the kitchen sink. And so I like knowing that all of my cleaning tools are basically in the area that I need them when I need them. Now, I do have some bathroom stuff that I leave in the bathroom, like the toilet brush and the toilet bowl cleaner. Like that stuff doesn't need to go in the kitchen because I don't ever use it in the kitchen. So I leave it in the bathroom closet. All right, tip number 5, as you go through your home, think about what is most overwhelming to you. Is it your laundry, the toy room, the kitchen? Number them from 1 to 10, with 1 being the most overwhelming. And then figure out how you can make that area work for you and your family instead of you working for it. If it's laundry, you may need to have everyone simplify their wardrobes. If it's the toy room, maybe you need to look into toy rotation or only having a specific amount of toys that your children can manage on their own. I'll talk more about our children's roles in the home in next week's video, so be sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell if you haven't already so you don't miss out on this video. So tip number 6 is make supper simple on the deep cleaning days. Pick a meal that is super easy for you to make, or one that you can throw in the crock pot in the morning and it's ready to come supper time. This will give you time to focus on the house and not make another big mess in the kitchen. And you won't have to stop as quickly with the cleaning to get supper ready for your family. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be perfect and pretend that my home is always clean or that I'm always cleaning my home. I let it get messy. I put things off because I am not interested in doing it. I get frustrated at my kids because while I'm cleaning, even this day, they are making a huge mess in another area, and it gets really frustrating. But as I will talk in next week's video, it is very important that we train our children up in the way that they should go. We need to train them to clean up after themselves. We need to train them to clean and to serve others. And that is something that I have to keep reminding myself, and that they are not going to just naturally clean up by themselves. They are not naturally going to clean up after others. That is something that they have to be trained to do, and that they have to kind of grow in their relationship with Christ and see the need and the purpose in it before they are going to do that. So that's something that I've been working on teaching my kids. So this day, I was so frustrated with them, and this is off camera, but I was like really frustrated because they were getting out tons and tons of toys, and they would get them out, quit playing with them, and then move on to something else. And I was really trying to get our house clean. We're about to go on a trip, and I love coming home to a clean house. And also, I mean, there was things that needed to be done anyway. So we've been super busy lately, and I just wanted to have a clean house. So I threatened that some of the activities that they were doing, we would not be doing anymore if they were not going to help clean up, because I told them, like, I am running around doing all these things that you guys really want to do, but I need help. Like, I can't clean the entire house by myself and have you guys mess it up while I'm cleaning. So that didn't work. And like, there were tears that they weren't going to be able to do the things that they wanted to do, but it still didn't motivate them to clean. I really don't know. And so I am just kind of going back and forth, cleaning and talking with them. And they were starting to get into it a lot, having fights and crying. So when it came time for the baby's naps, I decided that the older two would have quiet time. So the babies are laying down for their naps, and I told the other two that they were not allowed to talk to each other because they were arguing with each other, and they were not allowed to talk to me because I was cleaning, that they had to pick a book and sit on the couch and read or look at pictures or something quietly for an hour. And I am not kidding. At the end of that hour, they were volunteering to help with laundry and sweeping, and it was crazy. And so I'm not really sure what was the trigger point, but I guess the quiet time really worked. Another thing that I think is very vital when it comes to your home is praying over it, praying over yourself, praying that God would show you where you need to work on things. So I had a friend who said that her recent prayer for herself is that God opens her eyes to see her home the way that she needs to see it, to see if it's cluttered, to see if it's clean. So I just thought that was such a really good prayer, and something that I have been contemplating as well is, if God was to come in and visit my home as a guest, would my home be welcoming to him? Would he trip over something coming in the door because I haven't picked up after my kids or taught my kids to pick up after themselves? Would he be able to sit at my table and have dinner with us because I was able to get supper on the table because the kitchen was cleaned up and the table was set? Those are things that I want to question when it comes to having guests over to my house and honestly just living a day-to-day life. So now I am decluttering our bookshelves, and I wanted to show you a couple of books that I have. This is Where God Came Down, and it is an archaeological book, and the author has a YouTube channel, and I will link it down below. I have found it so interesting, and I want you guys to check it out. But I have decided to declutter my bookshelf and take down things that I have either read and don't plan on reading again, or things that just aren't glorifying God. So I have a few books in here that ashamedly, I think that's the right word, I have read, and they are just very graphic and sexually explicit, and I'm like, this is not God honoring at all. Like, I don't think that I have to read Christian books all of the time, but I want to make sure that if my children come and decide to pick up a book and read one day, that it's not something that is going to introduce them to something that they shouldn't be a part of. So I'm getting those books off of my shelf and just leaving the ones that are clean and honoring to God. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope that this was inspiring and helpful as a homemaker, especially a Christian homemaker, to help you get your home organized and the purpose behind it, why it's important. So if you are new here, I would love for you to hit subscribe and hit thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And in the comment section below, tell me one thing that has helped you keep your house clean, or a prayer that you've prayed to help you be a better homemaker. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!